Man has been building fires for thousands of years, but it's only recently in human history that anyone could start a fire with the simple strike of a match. Matches are made to burn, and aspen burns faster and easier than many other hardwoods. The strength of its fibers also makes it less likely to break in the process of striking. Each of these aspen logs weighs about 180 pounds. So how do they get these guys down to tiny feather-like matchsticks? It all starts in the debarking room. A bull chain operator feeds each log into the room with the help of a mechanized trough. Once inside the plant, the logs meet the debarker. Two 17-inch drive wheels grab and spin the log with metal teeth, forcing it against a blade called the cutter head. It may not look like it, but this is a precision instrument, skimming away the thin layer of bark without damaging the layers beneath. With the aspen wood now exposed, the logs must be chopped down to a more manageable size. And that happens with the swing saw. Its massive spinning blade turns each log into 4 25-inch blocks of aspen. It's these blocks that'll get chopped up into thousands of matchsticks. Except not all blocks are created equal. Some have imperfections like knots that would yield poor quality matchsticks, so block loaders reject them. These discarded blocks won't become matches, but they'll still get burned. More than 50% of the factory's power comes from burning its rejected wood. It's one way Diamond strives to be more energy efficient. Back up on the line, the blocks that make it through inspection take a bit of a break in the steam room. If it sounds relaxing, think again. Here, 250-degree Fahrenheit steam heats the blocks for up to 6 hours. The heat kills any bacteria on the wood, and in winter months, thaws it out. This also makes the blocks more pliable for the biggest transformation in the matchmaking process, which happens in the lathe. The blade of the lathe presses against the block of wood, and the wood unrolls, just like wrapping paper coming off a roll. These sheets, called veneer, are less than 3 millimeters thick, the width of a single matchstick. They may not look much like matches, but that's about to change. This is the chopper, and inside, matches are taking shape. First, the chopper moves a stack of 55 veneers into the machine, where the leading end of the stack is squared off. Inside, a guillotine blade and divider knives work together to chop the veneers to the correct width and length. It looks messy, but to make 2 1/4-inch matchsticks, every cut is precise. And what looks like wood splinters coming out of the other side are actually completed matchsticks. Now it's time to find out what will turn these simple wooden sticks into fire starters. Now that we've seen the matchsticks take shape, it's time to get the fire started. In this part of the factory, these simple sticks will get the chemical coating that makes them burn. First, a porcupine wheel moves the splints through a solution of monoammonium phosphate, essentially a salt brine. Because this solution is a fire retardant, it keeps the matchstick from burning after the tip is blown out. That's just part of the reason that these are safety matches. They can't smolder and start an accidental fire. After they've dried off, the sticks head through a 50-foot-long tumble tunnel. Inside, the matchsticks bump up against one another, removing any splinters, so each stick comes out smooth on the other end. Now they're ready for the chemical cocktail that'll finally bring them to light. The tip of a Diamond brand match contains over 20 ingredients, which can be split into 4 categories. Fuel, like sulfur, the ingredient that keeps the fire burning. Oxidizing agents like potassium chlorate that bring oxygen into the fuel to help it burn. Dilutants like sand that keep the oxidizer and fuel from burning too fast. And binders to keep the chemicals together and stuck to the stick. All these chemicals come together here in the composition room. 5 heated pressurized bowl mixers combine all of the ingredients for the match's head. They also add in a red dye to give the match its signature color. Once the ingredients are thoroughly combined, the mix is ready to meet the sticks. First, the matchsticks drop into this splint arranger. The arranger vibrates the matchsticks, also called splints, into grooves, orienting them horizontally into rows. Then, tiny mechanical fingers push thousands of matches into holes along a 450-foot belt. The fingers use force to push the square sticks into round holes. This way, the splints stay tightly in place as the conveyor moves them upside down for the next step, the dip. First, the rolling match conveyor runs the splints through a wax solution. When struck, this wax transmits the flame from the match head to the stick. Once the tips are covered, they're ready for redheads. The splints rotate forward and lower into the red fuel mix. The fuel mixture then dries along a 450-foot conveyor chain. But remember, there's another essential to lighting a match: the striking surface. In this case, a friction strip on the side of the box. It's the friction strip that really makes these matches safety matches. They won't light unless you strike them on the box. With the friction strips printed, the boxes are folded, glued, and built. All that's left is to put the matches inside. Fingers behind the match chain push the matches out of their holes and into waiting trays. They drop exactly 250 matches into the bottom of each box. Once filled, the inner tray finally meets the outer sleeve. And a mechanical foot slides the two parts of the box together. Finally, the boxes make their way out to the packaging area, where they're shrink-wrapped in pairs, boxed up, and shipped out to a store near you. This year alone, Americans will use over 500 billion matches. Now that's a lot of heat.